Thank you all for your questions. We have these questions, and our team are definitely going to be addressing them in answering them. I want to turn this over to you, Neil. I know you want to talk a lot about what we've done since November and what some of the other framework is for us moving forward.
Neil, are you?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm trying. President Smotrisk, are you ready to go?
Okay,
sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. It's funny. Technology, love it. And several people have been asking me interesting questions. Someone says, as president of the university, it's your job to lead in this path. And another person said, where are you on your voyage? I think I want to just make sure people understand that I have been changing, I am changing, and I am continuing to lead. We have a huge number of things that are going on, and I have owned this. Can we move fast? Maybe. Can we do better than we're doing now? Certainly. And we're going to continue to apply both financial resources as well as cultural trainings and other types of devices to get us to where we have to go. What I want is for us to become an institution where people feel comfortable expressing themselves, where we support people, where they have success, where our students are changed and transformed. And as an educator, the thing I believe most is that our biggest impact is by making sure that students get degrees. Black students with degrees are going to live a healthier lifestyle. Their families are going to be better off. Their nieces and nephews and brothers and sisters are more likely to go to college. They're more likely to have a better income. And when we talk about anti-racism, a major part of anti-racism is understanding that many of the problems that Black people face are due to lack of employment and to financial challenges that are created by policies of white people in many cases. The way to overcome that, in my opinion, is through education. So let's all start by recognizing the need of students, to educate our students, to provide them a safe place where they can grow and thrive and become leaders in society. And that's what I am most excited about doing. Along with that, we have to create inclusion, and we have to combat racism within our faculty and staff ranks. And I recognize that that's going to take a lot of change. Our provost has addressed that. But let's talk specifically about some of the things that we've done. You've asked for mandatory cultural competency training for students. This is going to be starting. We've contracted with EverFi to offer diversity training to all new undergraduate students who are coming into UNT this year. And this will go along similarly to our alcohol and sexual assault training. Follow-ups with students will occur in first flight within a pilot in the first year. We've asked for comprehensive cultural competency training. And especially in student affairs, we're working to advance the development of our employees. The Faculty Senate had voted to have mandatory faculty development program focused on diversity and inclusion. A team from Faculty Senate, Faculty Success, Institutional Equity and Diversity are working together to develop professional development program that will launch this fall. The Division of Student Affairs requires its staff to complete following 3 trainings. 96% of the staff have completed it: unconscious bias training, cultivating cultural competence and inclusion, and communicating across cultures. This is a great statistic. The Division of Institutional Equity and Diversity has temporarily moved to remote workshops to enable the continuation of that learning because we're in an odd time where we can't gather naturally. The Division of Student Affairs has also brought in a diversity training in January to work with directors on implicit bias and intercultural competency inventory, the ICI. So whether it's overarching developmental areas like wellness, engagement, and auxiliaries, ICI scores, and their follow-up training is going to be scheduled to learn how to move their departments further along the IDI continuum. But because of the training and the face-to-face components, this was canceled during COVID. So we will look to reschedule and conduct it virtually. We have a number of things from the diversity inclusion initiatives in our strategic plan. From the Dean of Students Office, a goal and strategies follow. Cultivate an environment that embodies respect and awareness of diverse communities through the support of cultural abilities, identities, and ideological thought. Provide ongoing training and developmental experiences that increase the intercultural competence of staff and employees. And again, they're well on the way there. As far as increasing the percentage of faculty and staff from Black, Brown, and other marginalized identity, faculty search committees have training for implicit bias training and for making sure that we're hiring towards diversity has been increased. All Division of Student Affairs positions are posted externally in order to increase diversity. Student Affairs Diversity Council has developed guidelines and best practices for affirmative search processes. And in 15 minutes of implicit bias training, they've developed a 15-minute implicit bias training program to offer to all search committees at their first meeting. We've also been interested in expanding the resources available to the Multicultural Center and to Equity and Diversity. We've hired an additional staff member in the Multicultural Center. We've created a new First Gen Center, which I'm very excited about as a resource to help promote the success of our students. We're hiring additional access members to serve first generation students, especially because now as an MSI, we feel that that can be funded through things like our CARES funding. We've got CARE 2 Act funding, and we've devoted portions to ensure that we're expanding programming for our minority communities. Our Parent Association and Parent Orientation Scholarships are being offered for first generation and low SES parents, also funded by our CARES funding for MSI. And we funded positions within the Pride Alliance to allow for additional trainers. So we have done quite a few things especially quite a few things in the Division of Student Affairs. For mandatory training from the Black Faculty Network, I'm going to respond to some of the demands that the Black Faculty Network statement made. Mandatory training will be implemented this fall for all faculty members, especially for incoming faculty members. The Division of Student Affairs required staff to complete those trainings. I've talked to you about that. We are currently reading Why Are All the Black Kids Sitting Together in the Cafeteria as a book that we will have facilitated discussions around. Again, a number of these activities are moving forward. We've also allocated, in the question of allocate funds from police to counseling, everyone agrees we need more counseling money. In fact, this year, we began to hire more counselors and more advisors. We've contracted with a national consultant to review our counseling and testing center to assess its strengths and weaknesses, our staffing model, where efficiencies could be found, and what changes are needed to better understand the changing needs of our students. So we're going to work through their recommendations, including the staff recommendations, and try to really beef up our counseling. And interestingly, we're discovering some efficiencies in areas like telecounseling right now and mental health initiatives that we can run fairly efficiently through virtual environments. We've also provided, we also have a number of initiatives. And what I'd like to do now is ask if Jennifer wants to talk about some of the specific things that are happening on the faculty side of the equation, as opposed to in student affairs and on the staff side of the equation. Jennifer?
Absolutely. So you already spoke to the professional development program, and I've responded to that a little bit in the comments. I'll just give a very brief preview and then move into some of the other topics that have been raised. So the professional development program is intended to be a multi-stage program, so covering foundational information so that we have a common language, as well as moving into advanced skill sets. And we've heard from our participants in today's session about the kinds and nature of help that they'd like. For example, how to analyze their syllabus and select more culturally appropriate readings is just one small example. Bertina Combs in my office, in the Office of Faculty Success, is the point person that you could reach out to find out more and to offer suggestions on things that you'd like to personally learn about and see included in the professional development program. One of the topics that also came up was around faculty recruiting and the importance of faculty recruiting to support the increasing diversity of our faculty body. Approximately 5% of the doctorates awarded in the United States are awarded to Black faculty. We recognize that's not enough. And one of the things that we can be proud of as an R1 institution is that we're helping to move the needle in terms of ensuring that we have a more diverse doctorate body that is coming out and graduating and being prepared to move into faculty roles. We're ranked number 2 in the country in the diversity of our business doctoral graduates, and number 3 in the country in terms of our fine and performing arts diverse graduates. That's a very important role for us to play, and one that I'd like to see us place more emphasis on. Have a diverse faculty if we are not part of the solution in creating a more diverse, educated doctoral body. As it relates to our faculty diversity itself, our faculty are in fact responsible for hiring each other. And so changing the ways in which we think about and perceive people's qualifications, understanding the impacts that each individual hire has on the nature of our faculty in an individual department, and thinking about the ways that we can ensure that we're doing better. So I was very happy that we were partnering with diversity and inclusion to expand our search committee training. I was talking to Joanne Woodard a little earlier today, and we believe that we saw about a 70% increase in the number of faculty who participate. Long term, I would love to see that program become mandatory so that everyone has the knowledge they need to be supportive in the faculty hiring process. And we've seen successes. 6% of our faculty body is currently a faculty who identify as Black. And this past year, faculty who joined this fall and spring, it was 10% of the new faculty that were coming in. But let me be clear, the rate of change that we're having is not adequate. As I shared with our department chairs, at this rate of change, it will be 30 years before we reflect in our faculty the diversity that our student body has today. And that's unacceptable. It means that we have to do more, and it means every faculty hire in every department is an opportunity to increase the diversity of our faculty body. And that's something that we all have to take ownership of. So while I can provide support, I can provide policies, I can provide the right environment, ultimately our faculty are the people who are making hiring decisions. And we all need to be committed as a community to making change so that we'll have the faculty that our students are asking for, that we will have a faculty that reflects our values and our diversity as a minority serving institution. There is more that's coming, and we're going to be having divisional conversations over the coming interest of time. I want to turn it over to Neil to help us wrap up today's conversation.
Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you all for participating in today's conversation. We've just scratched the surface of so many issues that we can spend hours doing. And today was to listen and learn and continue this conversation not only at the level that we're having now, but certainly within our departments, through our schools, our colleges, and hopefully continued dialogue. That means the doors are open between faculty, staff, and administration as we build a better campus and continue to grow on the success we've had so far. What we do know is that this session has been recorded. If you are looking to check back and review some of what's been said, we will post this on the Equity and Diversity site at edo.unt.edu. If there were others who could not join us today, please let them know that this link will be available on the site within the next week or so that you can comment on them. All the student and employee pre-submitted comments, questions will be posted there at the edo.unt.edu/UNT-BLM site. We will have ongoing engagement. Please look to an event in August where we will pick up this conversation and move the ball further down the road. We also will be releasing the campus inclusion climate survey data to give us further insights on how folks are perceiving the community and what we all want to do, which is improve the community itself. Thanks again for your engagement today, your questions, your comments, and your recommendations.